Hello students, in our previous session we have learned the characteristics of genetic code from the chapter number 4, that is molecular basis of inheritance. In this session we are going to learn the topics, that is genetic code and mutation and the process of translation. In the process of translation, we are going to learn how does the process of translation, that is protein synthesis, occurs inside the cell. See the topic, mutations and genetic code. Now mutation is a phenomenon in which sudden change in the DNA sequence takes place and it results in the change of genotype. Now mutations are the sudden changes in the genetic makeup of an organism, and due to which the genotype of the organism is changed and the organism develop particular characters due to the change in the genotype. Then along with recombination. Now recombination means two different parts of DNA join with each other to form a new type of DNA. Such DNA is called as recombinant DNA and the process is called as recombination. So along with recombination, mutation results in variations. Now variations means these are the differences between the parents and their offsprings, or the differences between the offsprings or organisms are caused due to the mutation. Then during mutation, possibility of loss or gain of a segment of DNA results in the alteration of chromosome. So in mutation, either a part of DNA is inserted or either a part of DNA is lost. So due to these changes, the structure of chromosome is changed and this is called as alteration in the chromosome. Then mutation occur due to change in single base pair of DNA and this is called as point mutation. That means on the DNA molecule at a particular point, a single base pair of DNA is either lost or either gained. So such type of mutation is called as point mutation. An example is sickle cell anemia. Then insertion or deletion of one or two bases changes the reading frame from the point of insertion or deletion. Now reading frame means you know that genetic code consists of sequence of 3 nucleotides or 3 nitrogen bases. So the grouping of codons is called as a reading frame. Then if one or two nitrogen bases are lost, then there is change in the genetic code. So this changes the reading frame from the point of insertion, that means where the point the DNA or the bases are added or either they are removed. From this point the reading frame changes. That means the sequence of the genetic code gets changed. Then insertion or deletion of 3 or multiples of 3 bases result in insertion or deletion of amino acids. That means you know that genetic code codes for particular amino acid. If a single genetic code, that is suppose 3 nitrogen bases or 3 bases are removed, then entire genetic code is removed. Then due to the insertion or deletion of the DNA, the reading frames remain unaltered from that point onwards. That means the reading frame means the sequences of the genetic code will remain the same, and you know that if 3 nitrogen bases are lost, then one genetic code is lost. So from that point, the reading frame, that means grouping of codons, will remain unaltered or unchanged. So mutations are the changes in the genetic makeup of an individual which develop particular characters. They may be abnormal characters in a particular organism. Now we will see the topic tRNA, the adapter molecule. Now tRNA means transfer RNA. The tRNA will read the codon and also simultaneously bind with the amino acid, as amino acid does not have any special capacity to read the codon. So tRNA is considered as an adapter molecule. Here we see the structure of clover leaf model of tRNA. Then here is messenger RNA with genetic code. Now here is the anticodon loop of tRNA having anticodons. Sequence of 3 nitrogen bases on the anticodon loop are called as anticodons, and on messenger RNA we see genetic codes. So here we can see amino acid, that is glutamic acid. So amino acid molecule does not have the capacity to read the codon. The role is carried out by this transfer RNA. So the information from DNA is passed to messenger RNA in the form of code language, that which type of protein is to be produced. Then these codons are read by anticodon present on the transfer RNA, and accordingly the amino acid is brought and it gets attached to the C3 end of this tRNA, which ends with unpaired CCA nitrogen bases, and this site of attachment is called as amino acid attachment site, and the end, that is C3 end where amino acid joins, is called as acceptor end. So the particular tRNA is specific to particular amino acid. Then initiator tRNA is specific for methionine. Now initiator tRNA means the process of protein synthesis starts at the C5 end with AUG genetic code, and the transfer RNA will bring methionine amino acid at this point and the process will start. Hence this tRNA which brings methionine amino acid is called as initiator tRNA. So in this way the transfer RNA plays important role in binding the amino acid to the C3 end and bringing them to the messenger RNA, which is attached inside the ribosome during the process of protein synthesis. Hence, tRNA is called as an adapter molecule. Then, in actual structure, the tRNA looks like inverted L structure. It looks like inverted L, that is capital L like structure. So tRNA reads the codon on messenger RNA as well as bring specific amino acid to the site. It is called as an adapter molecule. Now we will start the topic, that is translation, or it is also called as protein synthesis. Now, in our previous session, we have seen the process of transcription. So, protein synthesis occurs in two main steps. The first one is transcription. In transcription, DNA produces messenger RNA. And in translation, the actual process of binding of the amino acid molecules to form a polypeptide chain or protein takes place. So translation is the mechanism in which codons of messenger RNA are translated and specific amino acids in a sequence form a polypeptide chain on the ribosomes. So the process of translation occurs inside the ribosomes and the messages from DNA during the process of transcription are copied to messenger RNA and accordingly the particular type of protein is produced inside the cell. So messenger RNA translates or actually the message from DNA is translated and particular proteins are produced in translation. Now all types of proteins are synthesized by the cell. Process of translation requires amino acids, then it requires messenger RNA, tRNA, that is transfer RNA, then rRNA or ribosomal RNA, which is present inside the ribosomes. Then it requires ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, then Mg++ ions, then different types of enzymes, then elongation, translocation and release factors. So these are all the requirements for the process of protein synthesis. Then about 20 different types of amino acids are known to form proteins. You know that there are total 20 amino acids which are coded by 61 genetic codes present on messenger RNA. And all these amino acids are present inside the cytoplasm. The DNA controls the synthesis of proteins having amino acids in specific sequence. That means the amino acids are arranged in a specific sequences and it is under the control of DNA. Then RNA serves as intermediate molecule between DNA and protein. So the RNAs actual carry the process of protein synthesis, but they are under the control of DNA. Then ribosomes serve as the site for protein synthesis. So ribosomes consist of two units, that is large and small subunits, and these large and small subunit get attached to each other during the process of protein synthesis with the help of Mg++ ions. So these are the basic requirements for the process of translation or protein synthesis. A ribosome has one binding site for messenger RNA and three binding sites for tRNA. Now here we can see, here is the larger subunit of ribosome and at the lower side is the smaller subunit of ribosome. So during the process of protein synthesis, these two units get attached with each other and they provide binding site for this messenger RNA with the help of ribosomal RNA. Then there are three sites for transfer RNA. These are the P site. Now here we can see the P site. P site means it is called as peptidyl tRNA site. Then A site, that is amino acid tRNA site, and E site means it is the exit site. So here we can see only this first tRNA amino acid complex. Now here is the tRNA and here is one of the amino acid. So only the first tRNA amino acid complex directly enters the P site of the ribosome and the process of protein synthesis starts. Then mechanism of protein synthesis or translation. Now translation means in transcription DNA produces messenger RNA and messenger RNA translates the type of protein to be produced to the amino acid and accordingly polypeptide chain of amino acid is produced. So this polypeptide chain is produced in the process of translation or it is also called as protein synthesis. Then translation involves three steps. The first one is initiation. Initiation means the process starts. Then elongation. Second one is elongation. Elongation means the amino acid molecules are linked with each other with the help of peptide bond and a polypeptide chain is formed. This is called as elongation. Then the next one is or the last one is termination. Termination means the process of protein synthesis is stopped. So we are going to see these steps in detail. The first step in the process of translation or protein synthesis is initiation of polypeptide chain. Now this diagram shows the details of the process of protein synthesis. So at first there is activation of amino acids by ATP. So the amino acid molecules present inside the cytoplasm obtain energy from ATP, get activated and they are attached. Here we can see the tRNA and on this tRNA the amino acid molecule or the activated amino acid molecule gets attached at the C3 end of the transfer RNA and it forms amino acid tRNA complex. That is, when amino acid attaches to the long end, that is C3 end of transfer RNA, this structure is called as amino acid tRNA complex. Now the small subunit of ribosomes bind to the messenger RNA at the C5 end. Here we can see the smaller subunit of ribosome get attached to the C5 end of this messenger RNA and here the genetic code that is AUG is present which starts the process of protein synthesis. So the first amino acid tRNA complex is called as initiator tRNA as it binds. Here we can see this amino acid tRNA complex which is called as initiator tRNA binds at the C5 end and the anticodons present on this tRNA join to the codons that is AUG present on the C5 end with hydrogen bonds and it carries the activated amino acid that is methionine. Now methionine amino acid is carried in eukaryotes while formyl methionine is carried in prokaryotes. So simultaneously the larger subunit as well as smaller subunit join to each other with the help of Mg++ ions. Then this initiator tRNA occupies the P site of the ribosome and A site remains vacant. So amino acid molecules are activated by ATP. Then these amino acid molecules get attached to the acceptor end or the C3 end of the tRNA, and the first amino acid tRNA complex is called as initiator tRNA, which binds directly to the P site and A site remains vacant. The first step we have seen was the initiation of the process of protein synthesis. Now the second step is the elongation of polypeptide chain. Now elongation of polypeptide chain means the activated amino acids get attached one by one to the first amino acid, that is methionine, and form a long polypeptide chain. So amino acids, we have seen that amino acids present in the cytoplasm get activated with the help of ATP molecule or with the help of energy obtained from ATP molecule, and these amino acid molecule join to the tRNA at the C3 end or the acceptor end. It is also called as amino acid binding site of the tRNA and form a tRNA amino acid complex. Then this tRNA amino acid complex enters inside the ribosome through the ribosome and gets attached to the A site. So initially we have seen that the process starts with the help of initiator tRNA having methionine amino acid. Then the second amino acid tRNA complex binds to the A site. The addition of amino acid occurs in three-step cycle, and this cycle repeats. So initially there is codon recognition, that means the amino acid tRNA complex enters the ribosome at A site. As we have seen that the initiator amino acid tRNA complex is present at the P site, the next amino acid tRNA complex enters the A site and its anticodon binds with the codon present on messenger RNA by hydrogen bonds. So here we can see that the amino acid tRNA complex here enters the A site and the anticodons present on this transfer RNA join or bind to the codons present on the messenger RNA with the help of hydrogen bonds. Similarly, the amino acid, that means here we can see the amino acid molecule on the P site and A site, they get joined with each other with the help of peptide bond, and the enzyme ribozyme acts as a catalyst. Then at this first time the tRNA at P site is kicked off. That means here we can see the tRNA present at this P site, or here we can see it, is kicked off. That means here we can see the P site and here is the A site. So after joining of the amino acid molecules from both these tRNA, the amino acid tRNA complex is kicked off to the E site, that is exit site, and the amino acid molecule remains attached to this tRNA complex amino acid molecule at the P site. And through this E site, the empty tRNA molecule will come out inside the cytoplasm. And then the new tRNA or the amino acid tRNA complex will come at this A site, and again the amino acid molecules that means the third amino acid molecule will get attached to this dipeptide chain, and this tRNA will then be transferred to E site, and through E site it will come outside the ribosome, and this tRNA complex from the A site, or which was attached to the A site, will move to P site. So this process continues till a long polypeptide chain is formed, and during this phenomenon translocation occurs. Now translocation means both these two ribosome units simultaneously move along the messenger RNA from the C5 end to C3 end, adding each amino acid at a time. So translocation, the tRNA at A site carrying a dipeptide at A site move to P site. We have seen that here is the dipeptide. That means here it becomes dipeptide. So this tRNA at A site has moved to the P site, and due to this the two ribosomal unit also move along C5 to C3 end. This process is called as translocation. So due to the translocation, each amino acid molecule gets attached to the polypeptide chain. First we have seen there were two amino acid molecules linked. Then the third amino acid molecule was linked. Then fourth, and so on. Here we can see the polypeptide chain gradually increase in length, and a long polypeptide chain of amino acid is formed. After the formation of polypeptide chain, the termination and release of polypeptide chain occur. Now there is a stop codon. It may be UAA or UAG, or it may be UGA. So this stop codon is exposed to the A site, and the release factor binds to the stop codon at the A site and stops the process of protein synthesis. It is called as termination of the process of protein synthesis or translation, and the polypeptide chain is released inside the cytoplasm. Similarly, the two subunits of ribosome dissociate or get separate from each other, and the last tRNA which is present at this P site is also set free inside the cytoplasm. Now, untranslated regions or UTRs are present at both, that is C5 end and C3 end. Here we can see it is C5 end. So before the start codon is here. So before the start codon, here is untranslated region. Then at C3 end, that is after the stop codon at the C3 end, untranslated regions are present. That means they do not undergo translation. That means they do not undergo coding for any amino acid. So such regions are called as untranslated region. And finally, after the completion of process of protein synthesis, the messenger RNA is released in the cell cytoplasm, and this messenger RNA is denatured or destroyed by the enzyme called as nucleases. So in this way, the process of translation or protein synthesis occurs inside the cell cytoplasm. So in this session, we have learned mutation and genetic code. Then we have learned in detail the process of translation. So remaining topics we will learn in our next sessions.